Hello. Yes, I'm a mess and I know it. It's just life is hard right now. I am just 2 months postpartum. Um, at my 6-week appointment, I was given a dose of antibiotics to take, and I ended up taking that. She thought I might have an infection. Um, so I went through all of that. That made me feel much, much better. And then I um, I am still taking 3 stool softeners a day because of my issues with anal fissure. Lovely. And it's just been really difficult. Like going to the bathroom is hard, it hurts. I'm having to drink tons of water and eat tons of fiber. My diet has completely changed to things like raspberries and pears and peas and apricots and prunes. And it's just been really difficult, especially when you're caring for a toddler and a newborn. But doing overall as well as can be expected. Um, After every time going to the bathroom, I have to get in the shower because the toilet paper hurts too bad still. Um, but it's slowly getting better. But I've been doing that from 3 weeks postpartum to 2 months now. So over a month, a good month and a half. Sorry, I live near an airport and both of the kids are sleeping and I don't want to wake them up. But anyway, um, it's been a really tough recovery. It's been really hard. And it doesn't help when you're not sleeping and you can't nap in the day when the baby naps because the other child is sleeping. For a while there I was, though. I was doing the best I could. I'm still co-sleeping and using the swing for him to sleep. That is the only way he will sleep, or in your arms, which that gets old. It's fun and adorable for sometimes, but not to live your life all night and all day. He sleeps usually in the bed with me, and he falls asleep and I put him in the swing, and he'll do that usually from 7:30 till midnight. Some nights not so much, but usually that's about when he wakes up. So he eats at midnight in the bed with me and falls back asleep until 3, and then I'll switch boobs, so I'll just roll over in bed and rearrange him, and he'll eat at 3, and then he's waking up again at 6, sometimes 5 to 6, and I'll switch sides again and he'll eat until 7. And by 7:30, I hear my toddler up with my husband, and my husband gets him up and gets him dressed, changes his diaper, and gets him a sippy cup. So then I feed the baby, get the baby dressed, get myself dressed, come out and start feeding my toddler some breakfast, and then kind of just start our day going. It's been, an easy adjustment, but it's been, I'm still exhausted and tired, but it's not been as difficult as I thought. Like when all my help left after the first, few weeks, I was really nervous, but it's been really okay. But I am just still buying a lot of prepackaged food, and we're eating out a lot, so I'm not like cooking a ton and I'm not cleaning a ton or even doing laundry. And my husband, since the baby's in the bed with me, he has pretty much decided to sleep in the guest room so he can get some rest. Plus, the swing kind of makes a little bit of noise when it swings, so he cannot handle that. The few times we've had company, my brother came last weekend, my husband would sleep in the room with me to give up the guest room, and he's like, "Oh, you're up a lot." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. We're up a lot." He's like, "This is terrible." I'm like, "Yeah, it's tough." But, there's no point of him even really being in the room with me. It's not like we're making bottles and he can help. And plus, he has to work, and, not that it's easy to be home with too, but he needs to be functioning and with it for work. Someone has to bring in income around here. But no, it's been good. So some of the most common questions I get asked, are you going to have a third? And you're like, "Oh, I just had a second. Give me a minute. I'm not even recovered." So that's funny that I get that question a lot. My husband, if you'd ask him, he'd say, "No way." And sometimes I'm 100% yes, and sometimes I am 100% no. So I guess we're still 50-50 here, if I would want more. But he says like 98% no way. Two's a lot of kids. I see people with a lot more, but I feel like 2 is most as I can handle right now. It's the most I can hold on to and watch and pay attention to and love, and, it's just the most that I can do for now. But maybe I'll feel differently. They're 20 and a half months apart. If I do have another, I think I would space them to be 3 years apart. Just because then my oldest would also be 5 or close to 5. That seems better if you are going to have 3. I don't want them to be super close together like these two are. These two are really close. And I don't know if I can handle 3 boys. Like, I already have 2 boys. Can I handle 3 boys? Oh my gosh. That is a lot of boy. So I don't know. If I could guarantee it was a girl, maybe I would. But, you can't. So I said to my husband, we could adopt a girl that's like 6 months old and already sleeping well. I think that would be the fantasy. So I don't know what that answer is yet. But that is definitely one of the most asked questions. And then behind that question is he sleeping? And no, we're not really sleeping much. The longest stretch is from like 7 to midnight. But, that's 5 hours. He has made it from 8 p.m. once until 2 in the morning. And the swing turns off after 5 hours, which usually is what wakes him up. The one day last week, he hasn't done it since, but one day last week, the swing turned off, it stopped swinging, and he slept for another full hour after that. I couldn't believe it. When I woke up and I looked, I was like, oh my gosh, it's been 6 hours. So that was a nice break for me, and get an actual good block of sleep in. I'm still going to bed super early. Not as early as I was before. I was going to bed like at 7 or 8 with him, but by 9:30 I'm trying to be in bed and like lights out, falling asleep, so I can sleep from 9:30 to midnight, which still isn't that much sleep because the rest of the night I'm up. I'm getting like an hour of sleep. So it is nice to have like a 2 or 3 hour block of sleep, but I also am juggling that with spending time with my husband, or just like time to myself to watch some TV or just relax or read a magazine, which isn't really happening, but I try to just have a little bit of time. So that's why I'm kind of more of a zombie. I'm willing to kind of give up a little bit of the sleep just to have like an hour or so to do something. Just like relax on the couch and talk and just whatever. Make a phone call my mom, call my dad, do something. But exercise, I am not up for exercise yet. I'm not putting the pressure on myself. But last time I was comfortable waiting until 5 months when the baby started sleeping till I started walking and running. This time I'm a little more eager. Like, I'm kind of ready to start, but it's just when. When do you exercise when you have 2? So I'm thinking put them in the double stroller and go for a run, but it's still like a heat index of like 115 here in Florida in July, and it's probably going to be like that for August. So I'm thinking maybe September, mid-September, I could start. And then the baby would be 4 months old, so that would be starting a month earlier than I did last time for exercise. But other than that, we're still going on the breastfeeding. We are still using the nipple shield. I've got him to latch a few times, especially on my left. Much easier on my left. My older son liked my left side better. So I think the milk is definitely fuller. I think, I don't know, I just think my nipple is easier to latch on that side. They both seem to like that side. So if I'm in public and I forget my nipple shield, I will definitely just use my nursing cover and have him nurse on my left side. But still using the nipple shields, he's not as good at latching without it. He's getting worse because I'm getting lazy and not practicing enough and trying enough, and I'm not pulling it off halfway off. Once he gets over that initial hunger and, needing food, and he's had a little bit, I should be taking it off because he's more likely to latch. If he's not completely starving, he's willing to work with me for a minute and, be patient, versus when he's starving, he's not going to be patient, like any of us. Other than that, like, I'm still definitely trying to recover. I'm still in some pain. It's just been a tougher recovery, much tougher. Like, I'm scared to even go swimming and stuff like that. Just the healing and with the infection and the stitches and just everything. It's just not been as smooth. So again, another reason probably not to exercise yet. And as far as my toddler, he's not been jealous. And I wonder if it's because he's so young, he doesn't really fully understand, versus if he was like 3 or 4 and he would fully understand that someone's here to stay. Right now he loves it. When I come in his room, wake him up from a nap, and I have the baby in my arms, he points in his crib and he wants me to sit the baby down. So I sit the baby down and he lays right next to him and he puts his head next to him and he pats him and he like rubs him, and he's just very good with him. So I've been very, very impressed and surprised, because people told me it would be, a lot of jealousy and issues and he would, not do so well, but he's been doing great. He is almost 23 months now and he's still not talking, but he wasn't talking before, so I wouldn't say it's a regression. So I don't know if it has something to do with the baby coming in that kind of stopped him from wanting to talk, or if he wasn't going to talk either way. I've heard that's normal for boys, and I've heard it's not normal for boys. So we'll see what the doctor says next month at his 2-year update to see if we get in some speech therapy for him. So that's kind of been weighing on me, and like, oh, don't I have kids too soon, close together, and you kind of mom guilt everything. But overall, I'd say we're doing great at 2 months. The baby's sleeping. I think a 5-hour stretch at this point is great. My recovery could be better. Definitely could be much better, but I am doing everything in my power to naturally like eat well, lots of water, lots of fiber, just to kind of heal myself the best I can. I stopped using the suppositories that they gave me to make the anal fissure heal because I felt like it was making it worse, not better. But yeah, I am still on 3 stool softeners a day. Also, I just had the baby's 2-month update. He had 2-month checkup, well checkup. He had some a vaccine in his mouth that was a liquid they let me give to him, and then 2 shots in his leg. And he actually took it like a champ. You know, after that we had to go to my older son's swim lesson, and he just slept right through it. He was a little sleepy the rest of the day, but not even, you know, that much. He was not crying too much. And when I took the band-aids off like a couple days later, he was fine. Didn't even cry at that. This kid does not cry that much. So that's kind of nice. Except for when he needs something. So it's been really crazy because my other son cried all the time for no reason. He was 12 pounds 1 ounce, and I forgot his height. And he was 21 at birth. I don't remember what his height was. But he had a really good well checkup. He does have a umbilical hernia, which is so crazy that no one has told me that. I knew something was weird about it, and finally I said something, and the doctor was like, oh, it's an umbilical hernia, it'll heal itself, which is so funny. Like all the nurses, the people in the hospital, the pediatrician in the hospital, the neonatologist, no one mentioned it, and only when I said something to the pediatrician at a well checkup did she tell me what it was. So I thought that was kind of odd. And no one told me, you know, a hernia seems like kind of a big deal, but I guess it's kind of normal to have an umbilical cord hernia, but I didn't know that. And she had me put my thumb or my pinky in his belly button and feel it, but I didn't know what I'm feeling. But I could kind of feel where she was saying it was like separated, and she said by the time he's 5, it'll pretty much heal itself 99.9% of the time. And if it doesn't, we'll talk about that later down the road, which I guess means surgery, but I don't think we'll have that because I feel like it's already been healing since we had our 2-month appointment last Thursday, so it's been like 5 days. So I feel like that's really good. Because I'm paying more attention to it now too. Whereas before I just thought it was something from his umbilical cord, but I wasn't quite sure. But now that I know it's a hernia, I'm definitely watching it closer. And as far as my weight goes, I lost 15 pounds. I went into labor. I was 183 when I got on the scale. I'm now like 178. So what is that? Yeah, 15 pounds. And I have not lost anything since. That's what I was at 2 weeks postpartum checkup, and I am still that at over 2 months. I'm a little over 2 months now past the birth. So I just think I'm not going to lose any more, and it's going to come down to when I stop breastfeeding or I start exercising. I have a hard time losing weight breastfeeding, unlike these lucky people who just shed weight. But I don't gain, and I do eat a lot because I'm so hungry and thirsty, and so I don't gain, but I definitely don't lose. But I'm still a good 25 pounds away from what I need to be. So I'm still in maternity clothes, which I hate. And I'm still wearing nursing pads because I leak constantly. And I leaked with my first son until I was stopped breastfeeding at 8.5 months. So I have a feeling that is what's going to happen this time. Not much I can do about it. It kind of is something that makes me want to wean early because it's such a pain in the butt to always have to wear nursing pads in your bra, and it's just annoying to constantly leak. Even when I get out of the shower, quickly I have to put a bra on, and quickly I have to put nursing pads in because I'm literally leaking all over the bathroom, and I don't want the bathroom to smell like sour milk. So that's how bad the leaking is. It's just constant. And I think the warm shower doesn't help. I think that actually stimulates your letdown, or at least for me it does. But other than that, everything is great, and that's my 2-month update for me and baby Nolan. I will see you guys next time. Bye.